GLC 300. A lot of confusion now about Mercedes and these new naming conventions they've got. The GL in the Mercedes nomenclature stands for or means SUV, and the third letter indicates what segment is in. So GLE is E-Class, GLS is S-Class, GLC is C-Class, and in fact this is C-Class based. It's also the successor to the old GLK, and whereas that car was, shall we say, slightly challenged when it came to the looks department, this is actually quite a handsome vehicle. I think you'll agree. It's you know, it's not in your face, but you know, it's not inoffensive. It's not offensive either. It's just very, very nice. It's very typically Mercedes. It is slightly bigger than the GLK, and it does have a bit more space inside it. It's the GLC 300. So the other question you're probably asking is, what is that? Is that a 3 litre? No, it's not. No, Mercedes don't do that anymore. The 300 is actually a 2 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged unit, putting out 245 horsepower and 168 pounds-foot of torque from as low as 1300 RPM, so that's quite handy. This gives you a 0 to 100 time of 6.5 seconds and a top speed of 235 kilometers per hour. It drives the all-wheel drive transmission through a 9-speed auto, and as you can see, it comes well stocked with the panoramic sunroof and stuff like that. So let's take a look at the practicalities of the car. Let's start with the boot. Let's see what the boot space is like. I can open it with the key if I press the button. There we go, power boot lid. And as it opens, it reveals quite a spacious cargo area. Actually, I've got my bag and my tripod in here. Plenty of room back here. And in fact, it's got this underfloor compartment, which is absolutely vast. Tons of room down there. It's got some sort of box contraption there as well. So very, very handy, very, very practical. Little net over here. It's a 3 split folding rear seat, so it's probably a 40-40-20. So you've got a little bit of flexibility there. You've got some hooks and things there. Oh, and a button that drops the rear seat. I just discovered that. That's quite handy. And of course, a blind. Now I'm going to need that rear seat back up again because I want to get in now and see what the rear legroom is like. Let's do that. Right, so here we are. So this thing will go back up. So there we go. Let's get in. Wow. Actually, oh, that's quite impressed with this. Tons of headroom. Like, I'm actually pretty much reclined back here. There's actually very good legroom and loads of footroom. One thing that always bothers me about some cars, like, it's okay, but then you can't get your foot underneath the seat in front. In this car, no problem at all. Loads of room and nothing there to obstruct my feet at all. What do we have here? We have a central armrest, little box compartment there, and a pair of cup holders, so that's quite handy. We have something down there. We have a 12-volt supply, and we have an ashtray if you smoke. Smoking very bad. Don't smoke, bad for you. And we have AC vents. And that's pretty much it, really. Nice trim on the door here. But yeah, spacious, comfortable. You wouldn't be unhappy back here, but I think you might be happier in the front. Let's give it a drive. So here we are, joined by Imtishan, and we're in the GLC 300, and let's start it up. It's got a starter button. Now this is an interesting thing. This has got this one of these silver little starter buttons. Now you remember that GLA that I had? Yep. The 45. Now that had a key, right? But this start button was in the cubby box.
You can pull that off.
You can pull it off and change it. So
it becomes a key.
So you can either use a key or you could use the button.
I think you can pull that right now. Look at that camera.
You broke it!
A little bit.
You broke the Mercedes. You can't. Mercedes. You weren't supposed to be able to break Mercs.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, you fixed it. You fixed it.
I have fixed your problem.
You have fixed the problem, there's no charge. Okay, seatbelts, alright, let's do this. So in typical Mercedes style, it's got all the new style, it's got the floating screen here, it's got very clean, the iPad, it's got a very clean center console here with this big thing here that gives you 2 cup holders, nicely. What is this trim, this sort of black wood trim that it's got?
It's a tree that's died.
It's a tree that was burnt.
I've never seen a black tree.
It was burnt and killed, this tree.
Was it a witch?
It was burnt.
It was a sauce in a tree.
You remember in the A-Class or in the GLA, I did say that there was no space to keep your iPhone. But in this one, sorry folks, there's lots of dust got in here. We had the doors open and the sand just kind of blew in a little bit. So
crazy.
But here, the cup holder is actually the perfect size to fit the iPhone, so that's quite handy.
An iPhone 6.
iPhone 6.
So you big phone people, you're
covered.
There you go.
It's got the touch pad where you can write stuff on it. It's got the knobby,
for the Chinese market.
The knobby control. Does it understand Chinese?
Yeah, it'll do Chinese characters and maybe Arabic characters as well, but
Really?
definitely Chinese characters. That's why it's a touchscreen.
Wow, I wasn't aware that you could do that.
We're not an important market when you have China.
No, let's have some aircon in here. Even
Aircon?
though
Aircon?
aircon. Let's have some aircon.
Seth,
No, let's not. Let's just have some
he doesn't
climate
know who
control.
Aircon is.
I do, as a matter of fact. He's a singer. See?
But he's one of those rappers that you hate.
Yeah, but you know he sings.
Actually,
and
he's
stuff.
really not.
Very, very clean here. Very, very clean. I like the 3 consoles.
It's
Nice
idiot-proof,
damp-
isn't it?
Nicely
Quality
damp.
switchgear.
Oh, look at the dampness. It's just dampness.
It's not damp, it's just damped switchgear.
I think it's time to drive. And it has the column stalk, which is a typical traditional Mercedes thing, but I'm not a fan of it anymore in modern cars. I'd rather have a gear lever down
I don't
here,
want a
but-
rotating spinny knob though.
No, I suppose. But it does catch me out sometimes when I get confused. But Mercedes always do
You are
that.
old.
No, they've always done that with their cruise control thing, which has always been down here. Which, you know, why can't they just make it more obvious? It's always hidden behind the spoke of the steering wheel. It takes a while to remember how that works.
This is funny because Mercedes are not really driven by young people.
No.
So you'd think they'd have slightly more intuitive switchgear.
But
I mean,
very
all of this is designed by one person and all that stuff is designed by a completely different person.
I think it's just carryover from how they did it, you know. But there's a newness though in this car, isn't there? It's got very
Compared to the
new
GLK,
Mercedes, yeah.
it's quantum leap.
And the quality of the buttons and everything is just so nice.
Well, this is S-Class level stuff to have. The old days would have been down here, but look at it, proper S-Class carryovers.
There's a real feel good about it, isn't there? You do
I
think.
still don't like the headliner. It's got a scratchy,
Yeah.
you know, cheap nylon, rayon, wetsuit kind of material. I know it's quite stubborn and resilient, but it doesn't feel premium compared to the other materials.
But it does have the big panoramic roof, which is quite nice. You've got a very high up seating position. So unlike the GLA, for example, where it still feels like you're just sitting in a sporty hatchback, but in this thing you do feel like you're sitting in an SUV, a junior SUV, but an SUV nonetheless. It does have that kind of upright high seating position that SUV owners like to have. So this is the 2-liter turbo. Unlike the 300 on the back might suggest that it's got a 3-liter V6. It doesn't. It has a 2-liter turbo engine, but it has modes down here. So we have Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. Now, some editions of this apparently have modes for the off-road as well, but I couldn't find it in this system. So maybe this car doesn't have that. But I tried the Sport and Sport Plus. You do notice some difference. So all it is really is just a little better throttle response, even though that took a while to kick down to the 9 gears that it's got.
9 gears?
Yeah.
9-speed auto?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I didn't really feel that there was much point using it in sports mode, especially a car of this nature. It's a little bit better throttle response, and
It just isn't the kind of car you want to chuck into a Benz, a family
well,
vehicle.
I'm doing that now, and it's like there's a fair bit of body roll, isn't there?
I'm going to go through the windshield.
So it's not really what you want to be doing with this car.
Nor is it the kind of car to drive around in these dunes.
Not really, no. I mean,
It'll do a little bit, I think.
I think it'll do a little bit of soft-roading. I mean, I was driving it around yesterday when I was shooting, and I was probably more sort of wadi, rock-based gravel tracks, and it was absolutely fine. The ground clearance was spot on for that sort of thing, and it never had an issue whatsoever. And not any proper sand stuff, but normal stuff was no problem at all. Decent enough performance. Let's kick down. Off it goes. 265 horsepower. Nothing to complain about, really.
Is that this kind of the standard now for these 2-liter turbos, 250, 260 horsepower?
Yeah, which is amazing if you think about it.
And this is a fairly heavy car, but it moves along with plenty of alacrity.
It's absolutely shocking that it's 2-liter 4 cylinders will give you that sort of power now.
It's just amazing, isn't it?
And very smooth. The ride I like on this car as well.
Is it air suspension?
I think it is. I was trying to get an answer off Mercedes if this car has been equipped with the active air.
I'm going to say it doesn't. I'm going to say it doesn't.
Yeah?
Because they would have an air suspension mode to stiffen the shocks.
You reckon?
Yeah, so for example, when we're into dynamic,
You can individually choose.
it has air control, engine, steering, but it doesn't have suspension. So
It doesn't have suspension control.
So this probably has steel shocks and springs, which is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
2 cars just blocking the road.
Having a chat.
I suppose, why not? You know?
They're asking, where are we?
Where are we? We are lost. We are in the sand dunes, and it's got sand
wait,
blowing,
there's the
and
road
it's
right there.
raining, and all craziness is happening. So, but I like the ride, though. I like the ride. I think it's very smooth, and I've driven it. Like I said, I drove
cruiser.
it.
It's a smooth cruiser. This
I
car.
drove it on gravel tracks and stuff, and it just you could barely tell. You could barely tell that you were not on a smooth surface. I mean, it was very, very, very smooth, very refined, very quiet, like it is now.
But, you know, I'm going to ask you a question. Where's the Mercedes innovation? Because Mercedes were always been pioneers. ABS, you know, all of those kinds of things. Radar cruise control, they were the first people to do it. Where's the special sauce in this car? Apart from just being a very nice executed compact crossover, where's the new thing?
Well, the new thing is that the GLK is no longer an ugly car now.
So what you're saying is it's no longer repulsive.
And it's no longer a GLK. It's a GLC.
That's progress. Now. I'll give you that. The old GLK, which I have driven on the track.
Yeah.
I don't know why I drove a GLK.
Why would you drive a GLK on the track?
I asked Mercedes the same question, but we drove it on the autodrome, and it really didn't want to be anywhere near the autodrome or any kind of track.
But this car, no, I hear what you're saying, and no, I don't think that's in this car. I think this is a very safe,
but it's come
sensible...
up to parity at least in the segment.
Yeah, basically it's like
compared to the X4, the Audi, something.
I would say, yeah, Q3, I would say this is
Q5.
Definitely one to put on the shopping list now, and I think this is definitely something that you would not be unhappy at all owning. I mean, I think this would make a very good family car. I think it's an extremely practical offering as well. Certainly very solid, you know, very comfortable. You get a sense of well-being with this car. You know, you do get that Mercedes-ness.
And the dominance of 2-liter turbos continues because these are going to be all the engines in all the cars in the years to come.
Totally.
And you just can't argue against it. You're not going to go that fast, but who cares? You're saving so much petrol, and it's refined and it's quiet.
Good thing you mentioned petrol, because I did want to share that, and you reminded me. So, 10.7 liters per 100. Nearly 400 kilometers I've done in this car, 10.7 liters. In a GLC 300, you know.
I mean, that's better than 2.4s. I mean, it's just turbos.
And I've not been driving on eco mode either. That's just on normal mode.
No, he doesn't know what eco mode is.
No, I don't like eco mode. So that's on normal mode, and that's what it's done. I think that's fantastic. So again, you know, it's not a thirsty thing either. So I can't really fault this car. Honestly speaking, I can't fault it. Here's the thing: I don't want it. I wouldn't go out of my way to get one. But
if you needed a car with a Mercedes badge and you didn't want to buy the GLE, see, I got that right.
Yeah.
You didn't need that. I mean, you don't need this car. It's perfectly adequate.
Yeah.
It's nothing special in the segment, but at the same time, it's not a dunce in the segment like the GLK was.
No.
The GLK, let's face it, was a flop.
No.
It was an absolute failure to hit the mark.
Yeah.
Probably a fine car.
Yeah.
But this isn't. This is actually a good little car.
Better to drive, more refined, more spacious.
Ago, we had the Range Rover Evoque, and that led the way. Now everything is as good as or better than the Evoque.
Yeah.
And this is more spacious, more comfortable, and more powerful.
So there you go, folks. Definitely one to put on the shopping list if you're looking for a compact luxury SUV with plenty of space and practicality for the family. Solid offering. Go check it out. Did I mention the price?
No, you didn't.
Starts from 220,000 dirhams, this one. But there are two versions. There is a smaller engine version as well, so go check it out. More on motoringme.com. Do check us out on social media. They can check us out on
Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
And please do subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching. Until the next one.
Thank you.